Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge.
I'm Andrew Hands. Tonight under WZMQ 19 News, a man in Scandia has been arrested following a standoff with police.
Plus, we have more from the former mayor of Detroit as he continues his campaign for governor, running as an independent.
And we have reactions from the family now stuck on vacation after recent U.S. strikes on Venezuela. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
And a first look at your forecast. We're experiencing some warmer temperatures this week. You might still be trying to take down the holiday decorations, and feel free to do so, but you also want to make sure to take advantage of some warmer temperatures as well. Already seeing that for today. 26 was our high. The average is 22, so we're working our way up, and we'll get even warmer tomorrow, just above that freezing mark. But we could have some issues in terms of some ice, a glazing of ice, and then some warmer temperatures could bring some fog, so still need to have a slow morning commute, but I'll break down all your details in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Kelly. Thank you very much. A Scandia Township man was arrested following a standoff with police over the weekend. On Saturday, the Marquette County Sheriff's Office and state police were dispatched to Carlson Road, where a man said his donkey was attacked by a dog belonging to Kyle Boschman. Police tried to contact Boschman, but he did not answer. That night, they were dispatched to his home for a domestic situation. Boschman was inside with 4 children, his girlfriend, and an estimated 28 pit bull mixed dogs. The sheriff's office obtained an arrest warrant, and the state police emergency support team was activated. Negotiations to get Boschman to exit peacefully began at 5 a.m. on Sunday. At 10:50, officials made a tactical entry into the home. Boschman resisted arrest and assaulted some of the emergency support team troopers. Boschman's girlfriend and children were uninjured. Boschman was arraigned this afternoon on charges of unlawful imprisonment and domestic violence. The unlawful imprisonment charge carries a $500,000 bond. The incident remains under investigation. 1 dog was dispatched when police entered the home, and the rest were sent to the Upper Peninsula Animal Welfare Shelter. Tomorrow at 6/5 Central, we'll talk to the shelter about what the dogs need and how the community can help.
As Michigan's 2026 gubernatorial race begins, Democrats are taking aim at former Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan, who is running as an independent. Party leaders accuse Duggan of aligning with Republicans, while Duggan says he's focused on governing, not partisan politics. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more as campaigns kick off.
Michigan Democrats opened the new election year by criticizing former Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan's independent run for governor, arguing he's refused to challenge President Donald Trump on key issues.
As we enter 2026, it is clear that Michiganders simply can't trust Mike Duggan to fight for them.
Democrats say Duggan's refusal to criticize Trump, including on tariffs and healthcare policy, shows he's courting Republican voters.
It's absolutely ridiculous that Mike Duggan can't name a single critique of Donald Trump, not one. Even a lot of Republicans can name at least one thing about Donald Trump that they don't like or that they have a criticism of.
Duggan, however, says reaching out to all Michiganders should not be seen as a negative, and that he's spoken out when federal policies were hurting Michigan, but won't engage in what he calls partisan outrage.
I've done a number of interviews where I've criticized the Canadian tariffs. They have hurt the auto plants in Detroit.
He doubled down, saying Michigan's economy is deeply tied to Canada and argues tariffs raise costs for workers and manufacturers across the state.
When you put tariffs on Canadian auto parts, you're putting tariffs on Michigan cars. And so that's an issue with which take a significant issue because it affects our jobs every day.
Duggan says whether he agrees with Trump or not, voters are tired of what he calls Michigan's political U-turns, while Democrats argue his independent bid raises questions about who he would govern for. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz announced he's ending his bid for a historic 3rd consecutive term in office, saying he's no longer able to give a political campaign his all. The announcement Monday comes as Walz continues to face intense scrutiny over his handling of a widening alleged fraud scandal in the state, which federal officials say could have cost taxpayers up to $9 billion. Multiple law enforcement officials say the Trump administration has begun to deploy thousands of federal agents to the Twin Cities area to investigate the alleged scheme.
We welcome ideas from anyone, in any party from any walk of life who wants to help us continue to stay ahead of these criminals. But I cannot abide the actions of the political leadership in Washington. These opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score cheap points. They and their allies have no intention of helping us solve this problem, and every intention of trying to profit off of it.
Minnesota Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar is possibly considering a bid for governor in the wake of Walz's decision, but has not yet confirmed a run.
A man is in custody following an incident early Monday at the Cincinnati home of Vice President J.D. Vance. Cincinnati police said the U.S. Secret Service is leading the investigation into the incident, which occurred shortly after midnight along William Howard Taft Road. 26-year-old William DeFore faces multiple charges, including vandalism, criminal damaging, criminal trespass, and obstructing official business. According to court records, DeFore was observed by Secret Service agents and on surveillance video entering the property and damaging windows with a hammer. Authorities say he also caused damage to a Secret Service vehicle before attempting to flee. The vice president was in Washington when reports came in.
Over the weekend, the U.S. launched strikes in Venezuela, capturing President Nicolas Maduro and bringing him to New York to face trial. The dramatic U.S. military operation is rippling into American vacations and impacting their ability to get back home. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon reports.
As soon as we found out, there was close to a 580-minute wait, I believe, to get a hold of an airline representative.
About 15 miles from the coast of Venezuela, Lauren Del Bono's family was packed and ready to head home to New Jersey on Saturday after ringing in the new year from Aruba.
Our initial vacation in paradise has quickly turned to the complete opposite.
The New Year nightmare only got worse when she discovered the soonest her family could leave Aruba was an entire week after the original departure date.
But the only available flights have close to 15 to 24 to 36 hour layovers in another country or in another location.
Soaring flight prices only adding to the frustration. Del Bono says a departing flight that typically costs $600 to $700
is now costing close to $2,200 a person. So we're looking at over $10,000 safely to get out. And unfortunately, it seems like the airlines are really taking advantage of it.
She and her family have been asked to leave their current hotel days before the earliest flight home.
We've been compensated for nothing, so we are still here, but they are asking us to leave Wednesday.
Which is when she and her family will relocate to a separate hotel for a few nights, another added cost she fears will not be compensated.
It is at a pretty penny.
She says the consequences of an unintended extra week in paradise are piling. Medication shortages, missing school and work are just a few.
We just want to get home. We've tried everything possible.
That includes a special request from 7-year-old Luna,
We really need to get home.
who is turning to a familiar superstar for help.
Who did you reach out to and why?
Taylor Swift, because she's a celebrity, and I was thinking maybe she could help, to get us home of some sort.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
Kelly Rowland has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, Bay College is making sure their students are prepared for the next semester with their Ready, Set, Enroll event.
And big changes to the CDC's childhood immunization schedule, with fewer vaccines being recommended. We'll have the details after this.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
And welcome back. It's a clean slate to a new week, also a fresh start to the new year. We're actually getting a bit of a break in terms of temperatures and precipitation. We are talking about potentially some wet snowflakes, not more so rain. I don't think it'll get quite that warm. It very well could, though, at times. It's iffy. Just know that we could see some rain, we could see some snow, just not really within the next 24 hours. But what we also could see is a potential for some glazing of ice. We'll see some pink returns on here very soon on your First Warning Weather Futurecast. Yes, it's well south of here, but there is a slight chance and a possibility that this whole system down here could push up, and then even though it does maybe pushes up to the Iron Mountain area, yes, it might not get to us in Marquette, but places in the southern area of the Upper Peninsula, watch out for a little glazing of ice for tomorrow, and especially throughout the afternoon that could still linger. But what we're hoping for is that the warmer temperatures make the ice not stick and stay there too long, and then hopefully we'll get some sunshine in there as well. But it's going to be mostly cloudy for tomorrow. Could see that glazing of ice. I know this is not a lot. This does not look impressive by any means. We're maybe seeing 1/100th of an inch, but even just having the pink returns come up here on the map shows us that there could be just the slightest amount of ice. It just means there isn't enough to get picked up on it, so less than 1/100th of an inch. I know that's not a lot, but sometimes that's all it takes for your car to slide, and then you may not see it because it's hidden under some snow. But whatever it may be, we are expecting a thaw, so hopefully if there is any ice, it just gets melted away. We're going to be seeing this jet stream push up north, and that's going to help usher in some warmer air from the south, so it's going to be a nice relief for us. And maybe if you haven't started your car since Christmas, you're still in the hibernation, it's a good idea to at least get the car running and make sure it's still good with those colder temperatures that we've had. Just a nice reset for the week ahead. Maybe also try to shovel some of your driveway if you've been avoiding that. Also, you could just stay in and de-decorate for the holidays. But you want to take advantage of these above average temperatures because it's not very typical for this time of the year to be about 10 or 20 degrees above average. And these winds from the south, especially once we get into Wednesday and Thursday, are really going to help those temperatures soar. Again, not too much, but I think above average, about 10 to 20 degrees, is going to be really nice for us. And even the temperature trend 6 to 10 days does still point to some above average temperatures. So that's a win to start the new year. I think it's a nice clean slate. We're not going to be seeing a major lake effect snow event within the next 24 or 48 hours, or every precip that we see of snow after we clear those warmer temperatures on Thursday. And again, any precip that we see in here is likely going to be rain or at least some wet snowflakes. And then temperatures dip back down for Friday and the weekend, and especially Sunday when we dry things back out, mostly cloudy, but back into the 20s.
Thanks, Kelly. Many UP schools were closed today due to weather, but at Bay College's Escanaba and Iron Mountain campuses, staff members were hard at work helping students prepare for another semester. Our Escanaba reporter Lily Simmons has the details.
The winter semester is just 1 week away, but it's not too late for students to get support thanks to Bay College's Ready, Set, Enroll event.
It's a one-day, one-stop shop where you can come to Bay College wherever you're at in the admissions or enrollment process. If you haven't done anything, we can help you get everything done today.
At this time, most students are looking for guidance on their class schedules, but for those just getting started, Bay staff could even provide express enrollment services.
We can audit your application and help get you through that process as quickly as possible. Some students might have prior college experience, whether at Bay or somewhere else, so we'll help them get their transcripts ordered.
Financial aid support was also available.
We can help them fill out their FAFSA if they haven't filled that out yet. We can help them apply for scholarships if they haven't done that yet. And there's over $650,000 in scholarships that the community has donated to give to students to go to school.
The 2024-2025 academic year brought Bay College's highest enrollment in a decade. Right now, the numbers are gradually growing and expected to be on par by the time classes begin. Bay's admissions director says events like Ready, Set, Enroll are instrumental in making that possible, allowing students to make college fit into their lives and schedules.
We are seeing a lot of people, even traditionally, they want to start college. They know they want to come to Bay, but it's like, no, I know I should do it. Maybe I'll just take a class, or I'll take maybe 2 classes just to start. I think this is a really important time because a lot of people kind of are on that fence.
As the community's college, college, Bay wants prospective students to know that help is available and higher education is still accessible.
You're not alone. You're not the only person that hasn't applied yet, or the only person that's only signed up for one class or hasn't filled out your FAFSA yet. I mean, you are not alone in that process. And that's why we're here to make sure you have what you need so that you're as successful as you can be on your educational journey.
Reporting in Escanaba, Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News.
The CDC announced it's updating its childhood immunization schedule to recommend fewer vaccines despite the opposition of the American Academy of Pediatrics. Under new guidelines, the CDC will continue to recommend vaccines for 10 diseases, including measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox. Other vaccines will be recommended for high-risk groups, and immunizations for certain diseases such as the flu and rotavirus will now fall under shared decision-making between parents and healthcare providers.
This is not a safety question. These vaccines are safe. One of the concerns I have here is that when they say some of these vaccines would be more strongly recommended for an infant or child who's high risk, very often we don't even realize someone is high risk until they develop a severe infection that can lead to hospitalization and death. And do we really want to wait for those infections to occur?
Health and Human Services officials said insurance providers will continue to cover the cost of these vaccines no matter which category they are in. Still to come on your 19 News, a luncheon in Houghton earlier today focused on estate planning. We'll go over some of the key points when we come back.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local.
Welcome back, everyone. A seminar to help small business owners plan for the future took place this afternoon in Hancock. Our own John Truitt has the report.
Estate planning is recognized as an important step to ensure that your assets are passed on in the manner you choose. The same is true when it comes to small businesses. That's why Range Bank, in conjunction with the law firm Kendricks Bordeaux, held a business succession planning seminar focused on protecting your business and ensuring a smooth transition upon retirement.
People know eventually they want to retire, but they don't really know how to go about it. And it's a little different when you're a small business owner to plan for that as opposed to somebody who's just, 30 years and getting their pension.
Attorneys and banking experts were on hand to answer questions about when to start planning, the financial tools you may need, and strategies for passing your business on to the next generation.
How early you should start planning for the next step in your business, who you might talk to about developing those plans.
Handing the business down through the generations is an American tradition, but it's important to make sure that that next generation is even interested.
I've been in many meetings at this point in my career where the parents have said, well, naturally our kids want the business, and I have to stop them and say, have you asked them? And sometimes they're like, no, we really hadn't thought to ask them.
And the process can be even more challenging when multiple siblings and family members are involved.
It's very difficult for multiple family members to co-own a business. So if you have multiple children and you're thinking they're all just going to happily co-own the business together, put the brakes on. Talk to them about what they really want and do not want.
The bottom line is to have a plan in place. And as the old adage goes, failure to plan is planning to fail. In Hancock, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
The city of Houghton is being recognized for excellence in local government. The State of Michigan Tax Commission has awarded the city a certificate of achievement after Houghton earned a perfect score on its 2025 assessment audit. The audit reviews how communities assess property taxes, ensuring accuracy, fairness, and compliance with state law. City Manager Eric Wara credits the assessor's office for the achievement, praising their experience and accessibility to taxpayers.
If they can see that, well, this is a community that treats everyone fairly, you know, they can go in eyes wide open, knowing that tax burden is, for lack of a better word, going to be fair.
Wara believes the perfect score is an important part of building trust for future developers.
Miss Piggy teams up with singer Sabrina Carpenter, and the British thriller heads to Paramount+. Gwen Baumgartner has tonight's entertainment headlines.
Brings a new psychological thriller to Paramount+.
This is a message from a daughter. Lily, we won't give up until we find you.
Based off the book Baby Doll, the new series titled Girl Taken follows the teen's disappearance and captivity by a local teacher.
This is going to be good. You're going to learn to be good.
Episodes of Girl Taken will be released Thursday on Paramount+. After a beloved movie, The Goonies, turned 40 years old, plans for a sequel were announced last February. But now actor Sean Astin is casting some doubt on the long-awaited return.
It looked like an absolute certainty. At the moment, I don't know. You know, is the writer of it at the Venice Film Festival or something like that said that the first pass had been written, a lot of good notes. Second pass was finished.
Despite the progress, Astin says the decision will ultimately be up to Steven Spielberg, who created the original Goonies.
It's the return of
The Muppets are making a grand return to screens and the original Muppet Theater. A new trailer teases Miss Piggy getting a pep talk from pop star Sabrina Carpenter.
You are an icon.
You're too sweet.
Go on.
The Muppet special airs on Disney Plus in February.
All right, Andrew, thank you so much for joining me on the anchor desk, that is. How are you liking it so far?
It's easier than I thought, honestly.
Yeah?
I think we're doing a great job. We make a great team, I would think so. Yeah, I've been here for about a year now, so I kind of understand how everything's working, and yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, no, you're doing a fantastic job, both in front of the camera, behind the camera, all your journalism, all your writing. It's fantastic. Andrew, thank you so much for joining me on the anchor desk. You're going to be joining me for the rest of the week as well, and looking forward to having you on here with me. Now let's send it over to Mike Ludlam for a special look at sports.
Good evening, everyone. Northern Michigan University has named Matt Janis as the 24th football head coach in school history. Janis comes to Marquette after 6 seasons as head coach of the University of Wisconsin at La Crosse, a 45-14 overall record, 29-6 in the Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. He guided the Eagles to 5 straight Division III playoff appearances. The Eagles defeated NMU 34-3 in 2023 and 35-21 in 2024. He won 2 conference titles and was named Coach of the Year in both of those seasons, 2022 and 23. Janis also held coaching roles at Wisconsin-Platteville. He began his coaching career at Sheboygan Falls High School in Wisconsin. The Northern Michigan University men's basketball team has a 4-0 conference record going into Thursday's showdown at Michigan Tech. The Wildcats had to scratch and claw their way to a win at home Saturday against Grand Valley State. First half action, good basketball rotation. Finally, Jackson Dudek bounced the pass to Cal Klesmet for 3. Klesmet poured in 21 points on the afternoon. NMU's Dylan Keel has been named the GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week again. He scored 25 points in this game, plus 33 against Davenport. NMU led 37-32 at the half. With a 52-46 lead with less than 7 minutes to go, the bench started taking part. Bennett Bassich to Brooks Hinson for 3, and this would give the Wildcats a 55-46 advantage. Now, Grand Valley cut the deficit down to 5 points, and Bassich would make several key important baskets during the last 6 minutes. He ended up with 12 points. NMU won 72-60. Coach Matt Mackerzat says the reserves are starting to get comfortable with their roles.
To get the starters back in, but Brooks hits the big shot, and Bennett took over the down the stretch of the game. He was the guy that took over, so they got to stay. How many teams can trust 10 different players in the last 8 minutes of a tight game? In the past, you kind of sub, and then at the end you play the best players. All of them were the best players.
The NMU Michigan Tech women's game starts at 5:30 Thursday, with the men's game following at the SDC in Houghton. Michigan Tech's Jack Anderson has been named the CCHA Defenseman of the Week. Anderson became the first defenseman in 40 years to score a hat trick for the Huskies. He had 3 goals in the 5-0 win over Alaska Anchorage Saturday at the Desert Hockey Classic. He scored 2 goals in the first period and added the 3rd goal in the 3rd. Anderson also had an assist in Friday's loss to Air Force. Tech visits Bemidji State this Friday and Saturday. NMU was swept by Lake Superior State in close games. The Wildcats host Augustana this weekend, Packers and the Bears Saturday night, and we will be right back.
And a final check of your forecast. We've been talking about this January thaw, and this is the week where we start to feel those warmer temperatures, at least above average. I know this is all put in perspective. If I showed you these highs in July, you would be angry at this. But because our high temperature is 22 degrees, this is at least 10 degrees above average. So yes, it's around freezing, but at least we're trending warmer. But we could see some fog for tomorrow morning, and we also could get glazing of ice throughout the week. week. So just keep that in mind, especially with these overnight temperatures still being around that freezing mark or below freezing. Anything that might have been in the middle of melting is going to refreeze. And of course, we could have some more issues. I'll talk more about it tomorrow. Could see some ice jamming as well, especially with the continuing trend of above average temperatures. We see possibly some more rain over the next few days, but then we transition right back to the cold. I know, don't get too comfortable. Back down to the freezing mark for Saturday with some snow showers, and even colder for Sunday in the mid-20s.
Thanks, Kelly. And finally tonight, the Ishmael Carnegie Public Library is hosting a new puzzle challenge through February. To celebrate 2 years of its puzzle section, the library is looking to see how many puzzles can be completed this winter. For every puzzle finished, a puzzle log can be filled out and submitted, and with every log counting as an entry to win a puzzle board donated by a local supporter. Staff says they hope the new activity will bring people together during this time of year.
It looks a lot like our summer reading program where we have book reviews and logs that people can turn in to win gift cards to local businesses. So it's a way of bringing that into the winter when the winters are really long here, so people can just have something to do to get out of the house.
The community is also encouraged to bring their own puzzles from home or trade with some of the library's collection.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you all for tuning in. That's it for now. We'll catch you back here tomorrow at 6/5 Central. See you then.